Hi, I'm Zephrom, and this is the CSE 412 final project, and I also worked on this project with Natasha. For our project outline, we created a web application that used the dataset called Bureau of Fire Prevention Certificates of Fitness, and that was from a website called www.data.world, and it was essentially just a big CSV file. And for our implementation, we wanted to create a front-end application that could visualize the data by creating different points on a map for the location of each certificate holder. And on our back end, we just created an API that handled all of the database requests. For dataset details, we have the name right here, and then just all of the different fields. So there's a COF ID for the certificate, ID, COF type for like the actual name of the certificate, the expiration date, the address, latitude and longitude. That was a pretty important one for our implementation for our front end, and a bunch of other fields right here. So here we have our Postgres design, and we essentially split up everything into several tables because the data set on the actual website was all clumped together. So we had to create a schema and then split up everything accordingly. For our technology stack, we used Postgres for the database, and then for the backend API, we used Node.js with Express for creating our routes. And we also used a module called PG Promise for accessing the database. And then within the front end, there was just HTML for the markup. We used the Google Maps API for showing markers based on the data. And then it was just vanilla JavaScript for calling the API and implementing events. So as I was saying before, the backend implementation just used PG Promise to set up the SQL queries with our database. And then we used Express for creating get routes that retrieve information from the database. And the backend API was just ran on localhost 3000. And then for the front end, like I said before, we used the Google Maps API to display data on a map. And then the front end just calls our API to populate drop-down lists and the map with relevant data. And I'll leave it to Natasha to give the demonstration. Thank you.
Okay, now I'm going to do a demonstration of our final project. So when you first log on to the project, you'll see that the map is empty, and we just have it set to New York because that's where the data points will be populated, since the firefighters are located in New York for the certificates and people. So to first start, you need to choose a certificate to find people for. So we can just choose this one right here. And then you'll see it populates the map within the New York area of the firefighters that hold that certificate. And then if you want to choose a person to find out more specific information for, such as like when the certificate expires and their address, you can choose the person from the dropdown, and then it'll pop up with their information. Or you could look in your area. So say you live in Midtown Manhattan and you want to see this person. This is Deborah Hanson. Their certificate expires on 4/28/2021. That's their address, and then their longitude and latitude coordinates. So it's an easy way to find different people that hold certificates that you're looking for within your area. So if you wanted to go in and maybe choose this one, different people here. And then if you wanted to go to a different area, down further. So yeah, you can just basically look for the different certificates that you're looking for, and then people who have those certificates. Thank you.